Hey there everybody, I just got back from a thing called ConnCon, and in case you were wondering, no one was dressed up as a giant Tokyo monster. For those of you unaware, ConnCon is a board game, card game, tabletop game convention. You are not going to see anyone dressed up as anything. The closest I found was someone wearing Godzilla feet and a giant striped hat. But he always does that, so it's not really him dressing up as anyone other than himself. The convention runs for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I arrived late Friday night. My gaming began bright and early on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. when I started playing something called Aquasphere. You could call Aquasphere a worker placement game. You train robots to do certain tasks, and then you have them execute those tasks. You earn victory points for doing menial tasks. You earn small bits of points, and then you earn a larger pool of points for completing larger tasks at the end of each round. It was a lot of fun. Maybe not something I wanted to tackle first thing in the morning, but still, very fun. With that finished, I found Hoyle, and we decided to play a few other things. He introduced me to a game called Prosperity. Prosperity is like a machine building game where you score by flipping over tiles and just trying to make your plant or your factory, your machine, score as many points as possible, or score as many prosperity points as possible, because the prosperity points are the things that actually matter in the end game. Everything else is a means to get you more prosperity points. Hence the name Prosperity. Very cool game. We also played something called Machi Koro, which I guess you could also call a machine building game. Think of it like a mixture of Dominion, where you're building a deck, and any other machine builder. You use money to purchase cards. Each of those cards has a value on the top. And if you roll that value, you get to do what it says on the card. The idea here is you need to earn enough money to buy 4 distinct parts of your machine. And when you have bought all 4 parts, you win. Simple game to learn, hard to master, really fast to play, one of my favorites, Machi Koro. There's something that you can do at ConnCon that you can't do in a lot of other places. This is called a play to win. Machi Koro was a play to win. It means you can take it out from the library, you basically rent it to play, you play it, and then you go write your name down on a slip, put it in a bin, and hope that you are drawn to then win it. They do this every year. So there are games all over the place, and they do it every day. Each day there's a certain pool of games that you can borrow, play, and then play to win them. And that's pretty cool. I didn't win anything, but it was fun to play. The game that Hoyle and I tackled together after lunch was a game called Captains of Industry. Now this game took about 5 hours. When you get into real hardcore Euro games, that's standard. This game was complicated. However, after my eyes sort of glazed over halfway through the rules, I decided that I would instead latch on to one aspect that I knew I could execute and just spam the heck out of that aspect. What's great about Captains of Industry is that the game is balanced. I was able to do that one thing. I was able to just do my thing. And another player was able to just do his thing. And then the other 3 players could just feed off of each other and try to work the stock market aspect of the game. I'm not going to go into detail here. That should be its own video on its own. However, what's great about it? One guy did his thing solo. He didn't even interact with us. I made a product that everyone needed, so they were constantly feeding me revenue, and they competed against each other for basically a stock market idea. It's a beautiful economics game, and at the end of it all, although it seemed like I was going to run away with the lead, I didn't. I didn't win. And the scores were much closer than we all thought they would be. And that's because the mechanics of the game are pristine, and the methods are balanced. The fact that I didn't want anything to do with the stock market exchange area, that's fine. I still could have played the game the way I wanted to and been very close to winning. Had I not made one fatal error near the end game, I just made one stupid move and it cost me 2 turns of revenue. Had I not done that, I would have won. And that really shows where the balance of the game was. I was walking a tightrope. And it was really cool. I'd love to play it again, but it is a major time suck. Another quick game that we got to play is one that Hoyle introduced me to. He played it on his own and then took it back out to play it with me. And it was called Castles of... Oh no, I'm forgetting the name. He's gonna destroy me for this. I'll flash it up on the screen because I can't... Castles, not the Castles of Burgundy, the Castles of Crazy Mad King Ludwig. I'm almost getting it right. The Castles of Mad King Ludwig? Yeah, Ludwig. Yeah, I think that's it. And it's, well, you have a crazy king, and he really likes his castles built a certain way. So you have all these different pieces of a castle, and then you draw a card, and it tells you how many of each piece you need, or how many of each piece you're going to flip over, and then you all bid to get those certain pieces to fulfill the expectations of Mad King Ludwig, which is awesome. I really like games that let you build your board. And you can play a solo game. You don't have to try to snipe and destroy other players. You don't have to interact with them that much. But you can because you're in charge of the bidding. Depending on whose turn it is, you are in charge of setting the prices for all the different pieces, and then you can mess with how much people have to spend, which is pretty cool. Also, a very quick game. It does not last long, even with 3 players. Just boom, boom, boom. You run out of cards, you're done. It was a lot of fun to put together. One of my favorites that we always play at every ConnCon so far has been King of Tokyo. There's a new King of Tokyo out. I mean, same mechanic, but it's called King of New York. It's just a different version of the same game. I actually prefer it. The concept behind King of Tokyo and King of New York is you're a giant monster who's trying to become the king of your city. The idea is you have a certain number of hearts, so your health, and a certain number of victory points. And the idea is the first person to 20 victory points wins. You can do this by performing certain tasks. In this case, King of New York lets you destroy buildings, you earn points, lets you destroy military, earn hearts, lets you destroy other things and perform other tasks, you earn points. It's a lot easier and faster to earn points in King of New York. But the other way to win is to be the last monster standing, and this is how. If you are outside of New York or outside of Tokyo, when you roll an attack, by the way, it's like Yahtzee. You have 6 dice and you roll them 3 times, and whatever a semblance of symbols that you get, those are the things that you do or get. If you roll attacks and you are outside of the city, you attack whatever monster is in the city. So they're getting pummeled every time. But then it gets to their turn, and whatever they attack everyone else. So if you've got aggressive players, you're going to be knocking out monsters left and right. But if you have passive players, then you're going to be vying for all the other options to win. It's very dynamic and really easy to learn, really easy to play. Again, hard to master, and usually you have pretty quick games. Unfortunately, it does suffer from the knockout aspect. If you're dead, you're dead. And you have to watch the rest of the game play out. I like King of New York better because if you die early, it doesn't take that long before the next one wins. And you can start over and maybe not die in the first 3 rounds. Or the first round, as this case was. We played the game twice through and had a lot of fun doing it. Another unique thing that ConnCon does is if you stay all the way through, even if you just show up on Sunday, but you stay all the way through breakdown and kicking everybody out of the room, and you can go play games outside of the main room. They reset the room, and then you go back in and you are given a ticket. And this ticket allows you to get a door prize. Now, often, not so much this year, we had a lot of books this year, which was not bad. It's just not as many games. They often have games. Games that either didn't win during the play-to-win segments, games that they have that were donated, that they have a surplus of. A lot of businesses that sell games come to ConnCon to sell their games, and sometimes they offer up a few things to be given out as door prizes. You can get some really good stuff if you're drawn. And that's the thing, it's random. What's cool about it is they have enough stuff so that everybody can get something. And what did I get? The Dungeon Master Guide. Of course. It's just good to have. I don't play a lot of D&D much anymore. I play a lot of Pathfinder. I shouldn't even say a lot, not much. But it's good information to have. And when you're studying when you're trying to study game design on your own, it might be nice to see where some of the mechanics are here. What's cool about this is that's a $50 value. It cost me about $40 to go to the convention itself, to meet a lot of cool people, have a lot of fun, and to get a $50 book at the end. Cool. Not bad. Not a bad takeaway at all. My favorite part of ConnCon is its welcoming atmosphere, especially when it comes to the card games and the board games. Not once did I ever feel like I was being judged by not knowing what the game was. Everyone was very open to letting me know what it was, how to play, what made it awesome, what made it frustrating. They're all trying these things out. And if you're working with a game that is being offered as a slot, like there are games that are offered as time slots, and then there are games you can pick up and just play, and you read the rules on your own, and you try and figure it out. But the ones that have time slots have judges or teachers that are teaching the game to you. And their job, literally, is to make sure that you understand how to play the game. And that you understand to the point where you will have fun. They're not there to belittle you. They're not there to make you feel bad for asking silly questions or clarifying questions. They are there to try to explain it as best they can in as many different ways as they can to really help you, so that you can play the game with confidence. Because there's nothing more annoying and frustrating and saddening than playing a game where you're like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And everyone else around you gets it and they're not going to help you. That's not cool. No one likes to play games like that. And that makes it so you never want to come back. You don't want to learn these cool games. You don't want to try new things when these games come out because it wasn't fun. The people there genuinely want you to enjoy the games that they enjoy. And that makes it fun for everybody. Now, if you're not into big, long games, that's okay. They've got a huge library of shorter games and tons of people willing to teach them to you. What's really cool about ConnCon and many of the other board game conventions is you will have the creators of said games playing with you. Sometimes you won't even know it. Maybe they're the judge. Maybe they're just there, walking around. And they'll sit in on a session of you playing their game. And they can clarify questions and take notes. It happened. It was awesome. And it's really cool to talk to the creator of a game, especially ones that were made from Kickstarters. This becoming more and more of a really cool thing, making a board game and then having it kickstarted, and then you can share it at conventions like these. It's pretty cool. It's a good community. I can't wait to go back next year. Maybe I'll see you there. Hey there, everybody. I just got back from a thing called ConnCon, and in case you wonder... I love you.